What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Talking Sports podcast right here on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We haven't done an interview in a while. It's been about maybe 6 months to a year, but as you guys can see on our screen, if you're watching on YouTube, but if you're on Apple Podcast and Spotify, it's in the title, so you guys know what we're talking about. Welcome my special guest, Lacarea Pleasant Johnson. I got your first name right. I got it right.
Yes, sir, Peter, man.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Southern Utah cornerback who's going to be in this 2025 NFL draft. So I'm super stoked to have you on, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Man, once again, Peter, bro, I appreciate you reaching out and let me, on your podcast, bro, to talk life, sports, and of course this draft. So I'm happy.
Yeah, but before we do that, as always, we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Have to plug the sponsor. Use code TSP for 100% deposit match up to $100. And as always, we are on social media at Talking Sports PD on X and on Instagram. So I appreciate everyone that follows us, all that kind of stuff. More draft content will be coming. Masters content, golf content in about a week and a half. So we're stoked about that. But before we do that, before we get to all those episodes, we're going to have a nice little football conversation here. So every time I have a guest on it, we talk about sports, right? So we usually break down sports. But before we do that, I want to maybe learn a little bit more about you. Give me one, it sounds like kind of like we're in high school again, but give me like one interesting fact about you that is non-football related. So like if you're just having a conversation with a guy at a bar, at a restaurant, and just one interesting fact about you that has nothing to do with your profession.
Bro, I'd probably say one interesting fact is I'm the only person in the world named Lacarea.
Really?
Yeah, or at least how you pronunciate it, but I haven't found anybody else in this world that that has their name spelled Lacarea, or their name is exactly like mine, Lacarea. So I think that's one fun fact about me that has nothing to do with football, because I'm all about football. So yeah.
I can't say the same thing. There's a handful of people with the
A
name
lot of
Peter.
Peters. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. All
people
good.
people go with Peter, people go with Pete a lot, but that is interesting. That's a cool little tidbit there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's get into football. So if you guys don't know, Lacarea is in this 2025 NFL draft. He was a cornerback at Southern Utah, which was in the FCS. I want to talk about the FCS in a bit too, because not
Yes,
many
sir.
people know about the FCS, or people, if you're a diehard football fan, you do, but if you're just a modern football fan, you might not know what the FCS is. So I want to get into that in a bit, but he's in the 2025 NFL draft. So hopefully his name will be called. Obviously his dream of playing in the NFL could come true in the next couple of weeks. But let's go take a step back here. So you played at Southern Utah.
Yeah.
Obviously you were previously at Utah and UNLV.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your transition from the FBS to the FCS, and what did Southern Utah provide you to help you grow into a potential NFL draft pick?
Well, that's a good question, man. Well, I just want to start off by, just thanking God, just without, him being the forefront of my life and whatever, I do, I put, all my faith in him. I wouldn't even be here, Peter. I want to start off by saying, I started off at Utah. I was hired, recruited out of high school. It was probably, I was the number 15th recruit in Arizona. And I was up there, with guys like Elias Riggs, Keely Ringo, just offer wise, and I chose Utah. I spent 3 years there, primarily on special teams. Really, really earned, my stripes and my keep, in the FBS, special teams guy. Further on in my career, after the Rose Bowl, I just decided to hit the transfer portal, wanting more, for myself, a starting role. And I chose UNLV. Unfortunately, UNLV had a big coaching change, and so after that year, it was kind of like a clean house sweep. And in between that, I was introduced to a coach. His name was Coach Chima Chinda. He was a analyst over at UNLV. He got a new job at Southern Utah, and my second time hitting the portal, I had a good relationship with Coach Chima. I hit the portal, man, the first day. He said, bro, come and play for me. As long as you handle your business, you'll play and you'll start. And I handled my business in 2023 when I transferred to Southern Utah my junior year. and then I also just handled. I had a one of the best FCS seasons individually at here at Southern Utah for a corner. So just just putting God in this position, or God put me in this position to keep Him first and keep my faith, keep me faith based. I think is what led me to ultimately have a shot at the NFL, because I have the body, I have the body frame, I have the
Mhm.
speed, I have the length. I just think it was just a big test on my faith, um, moving forward and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you have to be resilient, right? Like you play 3 years at Utah, you play special teams, which obviously is a huge factor of the game. The NFL is 3 phases, right? There's offense, there's defense, and the special teams. But I'm assuming you wanted to play defense as well. You go to UNLV, it doesn't work out for basically stuff out of your control, and you go to Southern Utah and you kind of ball out like that. I feel like when you're talking to NFL teams, they show how much you care, how resilient you are. Like, does that when you talk to NFL teams and when people talk about your journey in college, like, do you just talk about how resilient you were because you're in your third school, but second school had nothing to you couldn't control that, right?
Right.
And you did your time at Utah and you succeeded, but it's just to kind of go 3 schools, like you have to really want it at that point.
Yeah, man, you got to really want it, man, because I've seen guys, man, being flushed out, guys still sitting in the portal, guys losing the love, for the game. But I lost my mom at a young age, bro,
Mhm.
and you know, when before she passed, I just told her, man, like, this is how I'm gonna take care of my family. She put me in football to take care of her. Unfortunately, she passed. So, I got to keep going for my mom, you know what I'm saying? And she plays a big part of my why, and, my continuous drive, man. Bro, I be trying to work out, man, to my heart burst, man. I just want to really make it. Not literally, but that's just, how much, work, I want to put in on behalf of losing my mom and then just being great as well.
You created a foundation for your mom, correct?
Absolutely, bro.
Y-
Yes, sir.
You want to talk about that?
Yes, sir, Peter. I appreciate that. It's called the Jaquel Pleasant Foundation. And it's going to be in the month of January, man. We're going to be reaching out and just giving back to kids, and also just families who were affected by loved ones who lost their parents to cancer. So it's going to be specific deal. It's going to be a boy or a girl, and ultimately, they have to lose a mother to cancer, or a parent to cancer,
Mhm.
however it is. And during that month, man, we'll be taking care of their expensive, if they need a car, obviously clothing, food, housing, and then ultimately, I'm gonna have a academy, bro, and they're gonna be free tuition inside the academy, and the academy is gonna help these kids, become individual, successful, whoever they could be, purple, yellow, green, whoever comes to the school. I want to make sure that my foundation is something that's talked about, and definitely something that's remembered, because my mom, she was a really, really big school advocate, man.
Yeah.
The reason I'm getting my master's now is because of my mom, so.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate that. That's some great stuff. So if you guys check that out in the coming months, you said.
Coming months, yeah, man. It'll a little bit be after I get drafted,
Mhm.
just because I'll have a little bit more buzz, man. But man, as soon as I get drafted and get a little bit of change, man, I'm starting investing into that foundation that's gonna long last far more than football will.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Uh, FCS. So I kind of mentioned a couple minutes ago. I'm a Virginia Tech football fan, right? So they play in the FBS. Not everyone that is maybe just an Alabama fan or a Georgia fan knows what the FCS is. But if you saw my tweet yesterday because I retweeted it, I'm a Bills fan, and the Bills
Yeah,
have Christian Benford who plays corner. He went to Villanova, who's an FCS program, right? He was drafted on day 3 in the 6th round in the NFL draft. Grinded, obviously, right? And then a couple days ago, just got a $76 million extension for over 4 years, which is obviously, if you get drafted, it's life changing money. $76 million is life changing money. Nothing
right.
I will ever see in my life is $76 million. It's a ton, right? But he didn't go to Georgia. He didn't go to Alabama. He went to Villanova, which is a basketball school.
Right.
Played in the FCS, was drafted on day 3, and was developed. Talk if someone asks you what is the FCS, right? Because I get that question a lot from one of my friends that watch college or sports fans. I'm a huge college football nut. They're like, what is the FCS? Can you just explain, maybe not even, not, you don't have to explain what the FCS is, but like the level of football, the teams, kind of like how competitive it is compared to the FBS, because it's a very competitive league and it doesn't get the credit that it probably deserves.
Yeah, man. That's a good question. I mean, FCS, I mean, my general differences is, bowl games and then championships, But bro, when I first got to FCS, it was a it was a big change, man, from getting paid FBS money to getting paid FCS money. It was a big difference. I actually had to get a job, bro, just to make ends meet, playing in FCS,
Yeah.
But that makes you want it more, you know what I'm saying? That makes you want to grind more, I remember it was times where shoot, man, I was just like, man, this FCS stuff is hard, man. If you could play at Southern Utah, you could play anywhere in the country, man. I can go play for the Buffalo Bills with
Yeah.
my guy Cole Bishop. I
Hmm.
played with Cole Bishop at Utah's, and the reason why I'm saying that because the weather, and then just how blue nose collar, you know, uh, this city is. Um, but man, bro, I don't want to veer off the question. I mean, it's very competitive, bro. It doesn't get the recognition it needs to because it doesn't have these household names that the FBS has. Imagine if Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, and who else is a big time guy? Ashton Gentry played in the FCS. It'd be a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just really the names and how much money is being put
Hmm.
into FCS or FBS systems.
Yeah.
But
It's
don't get
also,
me wrong, man. Some FBS schools are nice, like Montana State or FCS, like Montana State. Really nice facilities, stuff like that. So it's all different.
well, yeah, you have like North Dakota State, which is like a powerhouse in the FCS, and they used to play Power Five teams like Iowa, Kansas, and then those teams stopped scheduling them because they kept getting beaten by North
Right.
Dakota State. There's legit, like Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State, and look, obviously his career kind of flamed out, but he was a legit NFL quarterback. He was a top 3 pick in the draft to the Eagles, right? Like I
Super Bowl
agree. I think
champion.
FCS has legit guys, and obviously it's the coverage doesn't get enough coverage like from the broadcast companies and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But no,
I
there's
mean,
like there's
like,
legit players.
yeah, like for example, bro, Cam Scatterbo, bro, he came from the
Yeah,
FCS
yeah.
or we could talk about Targy Lamson, man. He just rushed for maybe it was 1,900 yards, close to 2,000. A FCS running back here at Southern Utah. If he had another year, he'd go straight to FBS. So
Hmm.
it's all different, bro.
I want to talk about your pro day
Yeah,
because you had a pro day. What was it? Last week?
it was the 25th, man. I've actually been resting ever since, and tomorrow's my actually first day. Getting back in the office, man. I deserve it. So yeah. So the 25th. Yep.
So I'm bringing up, if people can see here, if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I'm sorry, but this is your RAS, so it's your relative athletic score. You posted this on X, so this kind of breaks down everything that you did at your pro day, right? Is
Right.
that correct? Just want to make sure.
Absolutely.
So this is what you did at your pro day, right? Like your 40-yard dash, 4.41. They give you a 9.08 out of 10. Talk about that 40-yard dash. Is that what you expected to run, 4.41? Is that because they gave you a 9 out of 10? Anything green, really good, right? Like 9 out of
Yeah.
10 is obviously a great grade. Is that what you wanted to run, a 4.41, or were you disappointed, or is that like what you were going for?
I mean, I was disappointed, bro. All shout out to Tracy Ford up at Ford Sports Performance in Seattle, Washington. Man, I was, having splits from 151. I ran a 437 actually
Hmm.
my second mock pro day at FSP. So I was really shooting for another 437, especially, being a pro day. But the numbers were all around. Some scouts got, numbers from 437 to 447, and then some of my guys from my school, my coaches, they got 437s and 438s. So this is what I forget his name. I forget his name. His name is the
I
guy
know.
reposted it. This is what was sent to me, and I was able to repost it, bro. So from the looks of it, from being a little small FCS guy, it
It's
looks okay.
Yeah, so it's, if people don't know, RAS is, yeah, relative athletic score, and they do it for everyone that competes either in the combine or in the pro day, right? And it gives your measurables, right? Like they give you a 7.19 out of 10, which I would say that's a solid, really good grade for an FCS. So your 20-yard split, they gave you a good grade. Anything Obviously, there's some red, right? Like that happens, right? That's part of it. Anything you're disappointed in from your pro day that you just wish you could have back?
Yeah, man, that vertical jump, man, I was
Mhm.
jumping 36 and a half in training. That'll really help me out a lot. But just the different way they measure your shoulder and your arms plays
Got
a
it.
big factor in how you're going to jump because you can get an inch or two back, if are being measured differently. But I'm okay, bro. 33 is all. Uh,
Yeah, and look, you got height, you got the height, which is important when you're coming from the FCS, right? Like if you have the like you said earlier, intangibles, right? Like it's easier for someone from the FCS to make it than if you're coming in and you don't have the size, the frame, right? Like so you get good
go
height.
harder.
Right? But so what would you grade your pro day, right? They gave you a 7.19 out of 10, which is a good grade, right?
Right.
What would you grade your pro day?
Uh, I give myself an 8.5, bro.
1.5.
Just being an FCS guy, having 33, I mean, having, arm length being 33 inches, bro, and having 10-inch hands is crazy. I feel like they could have showed a little bit more love, on the broad jump, but and then the three cone as well, bro. I feel like that's fast, 7.0,
Yeah.
I know some guys are getting 6.9s and 6.8s, but I feel like that's all right. But one thing I don't ever want to do is I don't ever, looking left or right. I don't compare myself to other men because obviously, and ultimately, comparison is the killer of all joy. If you guys didn't know, but yeah, I'm okay. Please, I give myself 8.5, bro. But I could have jumped a little higher.
Hey, look, if I was doing this, I would probably have a negative score. They would not give me even a number. I don't think I could 40-yard dash 4.41. If I was lucky, I'd be lucky to even come close to a 5.
I
So,
I feel you, bro. It's all good.
it's
You'd be
just it's just
surprised.
not it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing, right?
Yeah,
That's why you're going to the NFL and I'm not. But no, that's great. And look, you got a shot to do a pro day, right? Like when you get to put stats and you get to put this stuff on paper, right? I think that is huge for you, right? Because obviously didn't go to the NFL Combine, right? Weren't invited to the
right.
NFL Combine. To be able to put a pro day on for NFL scouts, I feel like that has to be a huge plus for you.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you.
I want to talk about the Tropical Bowl
Yeah, bro.
because
Let's do it.
let's talk about the Tropical Bowl. So
I
you're
got
voted the
time.
best DB at the Tropical Bowl. Is that correct?
That was correct. That's correct. Yeah.
So I
Well, I
want to read.
made I made the first I made first team all tropical bowl, and then I was the DB standout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say so.
So I want to read this to our users and then I'll take it off the page because it's small. But
There it
CBS
goes.
Sports did a little bit of a breakdown of the Tropical Bowl, right? And for some of the standouts, you were one of them. I'm just going to read it to people on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and then we'll talk about it. So this is what they said about you. They said one of the more confident and technically sound performances of the week at the position was from Pleasant Johnson. He did a great job of mirroring and matching receivers, not getting too handsy, and using his length to make numerous plays on the ball. You can see he was well coached in college. So we talk about that. How was that experience at the Tropical Bowl?
Yeah, man. That experience was very eye opening. Obviously, being an FCS guy, I got invited to FCS Bowl. I killed it. I had great stats at the FCS Bowl. I got called up to the FBS Bowl, and to just really do my thing, bro, to just really be myself there. The logo really doesn't mean anything, it's all about the person and his technique. I was out there, locking up cats from Arkansas and other big schools, Washington.
Yeah.
There was a couple sleeper guys from some lower level schools that were cool, but bro, just being amongst FBS guys where I really belong was really cool, and then just to put my work on the field and get the recognition I got felt good, bro. Cause I work hard for what I do, and I feel like I'm one of the best DBs in this draft, hands down. It doesn't matter if I'm FCS or FBS. My film says for itself, and I'm ready to fight and go to war, bro. Because this is what I want to do for my life.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, the Tropical Bowl is an all-star game includes FBS and FCS seniors, postseason all-star game, right? Kind of similar to the recent Senior Bowl. What is it? The West East Shrine Bowl, right? Like, there's a ton of them, right? So that's how I would kind of categorize that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah. Big bull, like more tropical is more of like, day 3 guys, and
mhm.
that's how they kind of told me. That's how it was. So yeah.
You want I have a couple videos of you, some film.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
two videos, two quick videos. We have one as you as a DB and one as you as a gunner, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in order to make it on some NFL rosters, like you said, your ability to play special teams is going to come in hand because you're battling with another corner for a roster spot potentially, and that corner
Absolutely.
doesn't play special teams, and you do. You're making the team. It's just
Right.
NFL teams need special teams. It's important. So let me pull this up. Let's see, we got two videos here. This is one you playing against BYU. So let me add this to the screen here. So this is quick 10 seconds. I'm going to play it. And you're at the bottom right here, correct?
Right. Yep. Yep. In the bottom, we're playing. Yeah. We're at the bottom. I'm at the bottom right here. Yep.
So I pause it just for everyone to know, but take me into that. Like, what is that? What am I looking at? Because look, I never played football. I watch football. I talk about football. I write about football, but I
Yeah.
never played tackle football. So what am I looking at here for someone that has never watched football?
Man, so what my coach tells me, man, I'm gonna talk to you and to you guys as if I was blind. So if you start at the top, Peter,
You want me to go back?
um, yes, sir. If you start at the top where I'm in my stance, you'll see that we have no safety help at all. Both our safeties are at the 40-yard line.
Hmm. Are
Trying
you
to
are you the corner at the bottom of the screen right here?
Yes, sir. I'm the corner right here to the bottom of the screen
You're the corner
where
closest to us.
closest to us, yeah, where there's two receivers, yes.
I'll run it.
So we have no safety help, and it is cover 3.
Okay.
I'm responsible for the route of number 1 receiver and the number 2 receiver. In my progression, the number 2 receiver here eliminates itself, so all of my action in my eyes, it goes to number 1. Mind you, we have no safety help, so I gotta stay on top of him at all costs.
Hmm. You want to run it?
Yes, sir. So therefore, I have eyes. I break down when he break. Literally, you can see his feet and my feet. They're all intact. When he
Hmm.
breaks down, I break down. And unfortunately, it was not unfortunately, but it was good coverage for myself. And then they couldn't get the pass off. But right there, that was a deep cover 3. And basically, I'm man unless. So if number 1 continues to go vertical, I would just own him, and he'd become my guy.
Awesome. Let's go to special teams play here. Let me go. Let me get out
Yeah,
of this.
I wonder what clip this would be. This would probably be a good clip. Okay, yes, sir.
You see this?
Yes, sir.
Let me make it bigger. Ooh, lost you. You're back. We lost you for a
There.
second. You're
Yeah.
good. No worries.
Yeah,
Happens,
all
right?
good.
It's when you record stuff. So this is you playing Gunner. I found it
Yes,
from your
sir.
social media page. I'll
Yes,
run it
sir.
through it quickly and then we can talk about it. Maybe more talk about what goes into the Gunner position.
Yeah. So actually back there, I believe that's Jeremiah Hunter, bro. He's kind of a all conference. He's really, really cool guy. But the progression is this call is blue. To the
Okay.
right side. So since it's blue, that's to the left because it has an L in it. And as soon as the ball is kicked, I automatically see that I have outside leverage, and he is also outside. This DB thinks I'm going to my right.
Okay.
So I give him a jab step to my right, and I run 22 miles per hour all the way to the gunner, forcing him to, fair catch, and puts us in great field position. But right there, bro, I'm just hauling butt, just really doing my job, just making it notice that special teams, matters.
Exactly. Okay. Perfect. And look, if you're an NFL team, right? Like you gotta be able to if you're going to the NFL, you got to be able to play special teams, right? Like
You have to
your
be.
first round pick, you don't have to play special teams, right? But if you're potential day 3 pick, you got to be able to play special teams.
You got to
So
be able to sacrifice. Yes, sir. You're right, bro.
to have that from Utah and from Southern Utah, you played special teams at Southern Utah, correct too?
Sparingly. I mean, I had 70 snaps a game, bro. So
So
my
no.
DB coach,
So
yeah, he
yeah,
really didn't
I
want
got
me
you. I got you.
playing too
But
much
you had
special
the film.
teams.
You have the tape from Utah playing special teams, right? So you got yourself playing corner and you got yourself playing special teams. So it's great.
Yeah, I feel like it helps me out.
Let's talk about the cornerback position.
Yes, sir.
What are your strengths at the cornerback position, and what can you bring to an NFL team?
Absolutely, bro. So my strengths is definitely my length and my size. Um, I think, bro, like being as long as I am, having a 79-inch wingspan helps me out. Makes it tough on quarterbacks having to find a soft spot and put the ball in certain places. And then my speed, bro. Like you can't teach speed, Peter. You can't
Yeah.
teach a guy to how to run fast, and so speed helps me. With my makeup, if my technique isn't right, all I gotta do is haul butt, and I'm back to that nearest hip of the receiver. um, and then definitely me being disciplined, me playing at Utah. I feel like, a lot of kids, aren't disciplined, nowadays, and formations and all that other stuff. So I just think my ability to pay attention to details is a great strength of mine. And then probably a weakness of mine, bro. Probably, you know, uh, dissecting plays factor faster, or being a just a better vocal leader. What I'm saying? I like to kind of, inner shell and make sure I'm right so that everybody else is right. Because I don't want
Mhm.
to tell the next man something and I'm not handling what I need to handle as well.
I was about to ask you what you needed to improve on, but you read my mind there. One receiver in college. Who was the toughest receiver you faced in college? If it was at Utah, if it was at Southern Utah, who's that one receiver you were like, oh crap, like this guy's legit.
Yeah, man. He was an FCS receiver, bro. His name is Darius Cooper.
Okay.
From Tarleton State. If he watching this, he's the one. He's one receiver that me and my coach was like, hey, we're gonna watch a lot more film. We're going to bed a little bit earlier tonight because he knows how what it takes to be locked in. He was an all American, 2 year All American receiver. But I did my thing, man. I held him to zero touchdowns. I think he had 80 yards receiving. He was targeted 12 times and he only caught like five of those passes. So I did my thing, but he definitely was the one that I remember me having to really, lock in. I faced, Dorian Singer up at Utah. I held him to 11 yards receiving, no touchdowns. I did my thing against UC Davis. George Weimer from Idaho State. I was trying to get that matchup, but they were moving him all around the field. I played with him at UNLV, and then Ricky White from UNLV. I had a lot of work against Ricky White. Ricky White's a good NFL receiver that will have success here in the future.
You've been going through the draft process for like a couple months here, right? Have you met with any NFL teams? Have you talked to any NFL teams, and how have those conversations gone?
Yeah, man. So throughout my process, it really got hectic around the FCS Bowl. I was able to talk with the Ravens. I was able to talk with Detroit, the Cardinals, and then it really ramped up going to the Tropical Bowl. I probably talked to about 21 teams. Myself on behalf of my agent, talked to most teams for me, but I encountered meeting with teams from the Las Vegas Raiders, the Falcons, Chargers, Colts, Eagles. Who else? The Browns, Seahawks. A lot of the southern teams that were there, kind of on that Florida side, was
Yeah.
there. But yeah, bro, it was a good, really, really good experience, and I'm just really blessed to be in this position. And I look forward to having actually a team visit with the team here soon.
You can't tell me who the team it is, can you?
Nah, not yet, bro.
All good, all good, all good. And if I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you, if you say you can't answer this, just say you can't answer this. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. Anything stand out in those conversations that you're like that kind of sparked your mind that you can tell me?
Yeah, bro, definitely. I definitely know Detroit likes us Utah guys, and they like us, underdog kind of guys. They picked up my guy Sione Avaki from Utah.
Okay,
He
yeah,
he was he was a sleeper in the draft, and I talked to his name was Joe Harvey. I talked to Joe Harvey at the FCS Bowl. He was just telling me how I can obviously come in as a day three guy or a undrafted guy and be polished, but definitely have to earn my way on the field by special teams. Um, and then the Raiders, man, the Raiders are loving the kid. Kind of a local kid. I'm kind of next door. I got a good relationship with Coach Mitchell up there. Um, for the Raiders, man. So it's definitely, some things in the works, man. I'm just grateful to actually be just talking about it, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me obviously what team you're gonna
Yeah,
visit with us.
I'm gonna tell you soon, but I need a feature to come out, and then I'll tell you, because if they see the video and then
I
it comes out, they're gonna be
I
like,
I
and it's not
got you.
gonna
No
do what it
worries.
needs to
But
do.
how stoked are you for that visit? Because that's
I'm
a
real.
huge step.
I'm extremely stoked, bro. It's coming up within the next week and a half
Okay.
or 2 weeks, and I mean, it's just life changing to tell my grandmother that, hey, a team's gonna invest in your grandson to fly out and see him in person. Is a really big deal for me and my family. But I'm stoked, bro. It just gives me more motivation, more fuel to fire, just to be great, bro. I want a gold jacket, man. I know everybody says that, but that's just the ceiling that I'm talking about.
100%, 100%. And obviously, people who's listening to this will be tuned in to potentially what team that is in the
Yeah.
coming weeks. So people look out for that. As always, you're the nephew of NFL legend Tony Dungy, correct?
Yes, sir. Real deal,
Has
like for real.
has his experience in the NFL? Obviously, he's a legendary coach in the NFL. Won a Super Bowl. Has his experience like in the NFL helped you at all?
I mean, him being my uncle, bro, we have a really big family. But his experience and it dawning on me really helps me out, man. I remember being the biggest diehard Colts fan, because my uncle was a coach, for the Colts. I
Yeah,
remember liking Peyton Manning just because of that reason. But it's definitely helped me out, because it's in my lineage. Um, Eddie Pleasant also, he played in the league. That is my cousin. David Pleasant is also he's an uncle of mine as well. He plays for the Browns to the Chiefs in the league back in the day. Marjan Beauchamp, he plays in the NBA. He's on year 4.
yeah,
And then you got myself, bro. So I really feel like I'm destined, and I just got to keep handling my business the way I need to handle it. Keep God first. But yeah, it definitely plays a big role because it's intriguing, bro. As soon as the Colts sat me down, we talked to Tropical, and they knew I was Tony Dungy's nephew. It was just like, this is crazy. It's kind of like the Shador Sanders and it's kind of in the same realm. Oh, you're related to a Hall of Fame so and so. Oh wow, type of
yeah.
deal. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm assuming he obviously gives you his wisdom of what it is in the NFL and what it takes to be in the NFL and all that kind of stuff. So that's
Yeah,
awesome. A couple more questions, and we'll get out of here. So I appreciate you taking the time so far. I
it's
know we've
all good, bro.
gone past 30 minutes, but I got a couple more questions.
No worries. It's
I
good.
got I got three more questions, and then we'll get out of here. So when you get to the NFL, give me one receiver you want to guard in the NFL.
Oh man. Going into or right now, like he's playing right now.
Right? No, he's playing. Yeah, right. He's
Uh,
playing. He's in the NFL right now. He played last season, so not a
yeah.
rookie.
Oh man.
You can name more than one if you want to.
Yeah, I want to say, bro, I'm not throwing no shots, but I was just on the phone with my brother, one of my brothers back home, and I was scrolling on my Instagram, and I was like, dang, man, AJ Brown he's a beast. And I was telling my brother, like, I'm gonna have to guard guys like him, but I definitely want to guard the big names. I definitely want to guard Stephon Diggs on the outside. um, because that's just somebody I look up to, and that'll build my confidence, making plays on that. Um, Definitely Puka Nakua.
Hmm.
I just feel like being around his brother Samson and just knowing his brother Samson, I just feel like it'd be a cool, matchup. And he's also a really good receiver. Um, and then who else, man? Man, JMO from Detroit Lions for some
Yeah,
reason,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I got
Sound
you.
crazy, but for some reason,
Yeah.
yeah, bro, those would be good matchups for myself.
Jameson got the top end speed, the over the top kind of speed. He'll beat you. He'll beat you over the top.
Yeah, man.
AJ Brown's a dog. I'm a Bills fan, so Stephon Diggs for 4 years was great. Obviously, he's a Patriot now, but he was great for the Bills for 4 years, and he has that like quick shiftiness, kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
playing the
yeah.
slide, he can play on the outside, and then obviously AJ Brown like can't miss that guy. He's a
Yeah, man, you
specimen
can't.
of a human being. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yep.
Top five. You don't have to put in any order. You can give me five, or you can give me an order. It's up to you. Best cornerbacks in the game. So give me your top five, 1 through 5, or just give me five cornerbacks or best five cornerbacks in the NFL right now.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say all time. Gosh
Right
darn it.
now.
Right now, okay, so I want to tell you my favorite of all time though first.
Go for it.
It's Namdi Asuma. I know a lot of guys are gonna be like, what the heck? I'll get in that later. Namdi Asuma will move forward to present now. Right now, like right now, Peter,
Yeah, like the season starts tomorrow,
we
right
we
now.
gotta we gotta we gotta go number one, man. JC Horn, man. You know,
He just got paid.
not even because the contract, but just like I've watched his YouTubes and just I followed him as he was at South Carolina, and he's just a dog to live up to the Horn name that he has. Definitely J.C. Horn, and then number two Patrick Surtain. He's a beast, man. But I wouldn't even put him at two. I'd put him and J.C. kind of at the same. So that would be two. Um, Number three, I say I say Sauce Gardner, you know, because he reminds me of myself a lot. Sauce Gardner, that'd be three. Um Number four, man. I say the guy from Buffalo. I
Christian
forget his
Benford.
name. Christian, man. He's a sleeper, bro. He's a real deal
Yeah,
sleeper. And for
yeah.
him to get 74 million, you gotta open eyes. I say him at four. And then five, Jalen Ramsey. He still has to be in the conversation, even though he's a little vetty. You know, he's a little older. In no order, in that order, I'd say those are my top five: J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, um, what's his name? Uh Jalen Ramsey, and then who else did I name?
You said
Sauce
Sauce
Gardner.
and then
Yep.
Benford.
And then Benford, yeah.
Yeah, Sauce still has to get paid. He's the only one on your. I think Surtain got paid. He definitely got paid.
He got paid.
The only one that I think has obviously Jalen Ramsey's got paid a couple times. But the only one that hasn't got paid yet is Sauce, and he's going to get paid if it's from the Jets or it's from. I think Stingley just got paid too. I thought you were going to mention Derek
Oh, wait,
Stingley.
wait, wait, wait.
That's yeah,
Stingley, I'm tripping.
that's who I
See?
thought you were gonna mention.
I'm tripping. Stingley is my two, bro. I'm sorry. So it's JC Horn, Stingley, Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner, and then Jalen Ramsey. I gotta take Christian out
Oh,
just
good.
because he got proof. He still got to prove it. We'll see if he prove it. Obviously he will. But I forgot about Stingley, man. What am I talking about?
Do you see like? And you said who'd you say? You said Sauce reminds you of yourself. Is that
Yeah,
out of those five guys? Would you say Sauce is kind of if you had to compare you to someone out of those five guys? Would you say Sauce is that kind of guy for you?
definitely, bro. Lanky, you know, long, rangy type of guy, definitely. And then slimmer build. I don't think we're 205 guys. I don't even think you know we're 200 guys. I think we're closer to 190, 195 range. Derek, he's more of a 200 guy. You know, all those guys
Yeah.
are a little bit more stout. So yeah, bro, definitely.
Let's talk about the guy you mentioned before we got to your current all-time corner. Why is he your
Yeah,
favorite?
Namdi is my favorite just because of him being one of the first receivers that I came across. That one of the DB coaches said I remind myself of him. Conrad Hamilton, Coach Hamilton, he played in the league for a little bit of time, and man, I mean, Namdi, bro, he's very long. He's aggressive. We're dang near the same height, same shoulder length, same hands. And then also him being a studious guy, him going back to school and all the other stuff, really tipped the hat off for me just because I'm about to get my master's in April.
That's
And
awesome.
he's on he did the same curricular, getting his master's. And then obviously when I say Namdi Asuma, he's a guy that not a lot of people are like, hey, he's nice, but he got paid when he was in the league, and he did his thing while he was there, man. And if he ever sees this, shoot, man, salute to him, making it easy for us long cats, man. And yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. One final question before we get to
yeah,
that. Obviously, everyone follows us on social media at Talking Sports PD. And as always, we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use code TSP. Everything's in the description as always. So one final question. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule. And I'm assuming you're super busy, but let's fast forward to draft week.
hmm
What is your expectation for draft week?
man. My expectation for draft week, bro, is to hear my name called in the sixth or seventh round, you know, and then just obviously, getting that call and really going to work, making it, notable and real that FCS guys like myself are small guys from Yakima, Washington, like myself, and Cooper, obviously, can make it out. But I definitely envision, and I definitely see my name and hear my name being called, day 3, 6, 7th round. And if not, I'll get that call,
Mhm.
to come to camp and still get the job done. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, you still have to, if you're sixth, seventh, or you go PFA or UDFA, you still have to go put in the work. Are you going to be watching with your family? Like, what does that kind of 3 days kind of look like for you?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be I know the first day, I'm just gonna probably just be with family. I'm gonna talk with my agent here soon, but we'll probably keep it local.
Hmm.
Day one, it'll be exciting, see some of my guys that I've played with at Utah and stuff get drafted. And then near day 2 or 3, that's when a lot of more people start coming over. And then day 3, I'll have the crew with me. We'll have all 32 hats, man, and we'll just wait on that call, man.
Awesome, man. I wish you the best of luck. I really do. I appreciate you taking the time. Anything else you want to say to everyone listening before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Whatever you guys are doing in life, I don't know if you guys are spiritual based. Some people aren't. Some people are. But whatever you can do, man, just whatever your faith is, just keep that first. Because whenever things get hard, you always need something to fall back on. And even the greats said, man, they talk about it. Hey, first of all, I wanted to thank God. So you guys just continue to do what you guys do. Keep God first, and just keep going. And Peter, man, you're very professional, bro. I really appreciate you conducting this amazing interview. Shout out to Talking Sports, and shout out to Underdog Fantasy, man. And I look forward to talking with you, man, soon when I'm on the team, and we'll recall about what we talked about here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you, man. I thank you a lot.
We'll do it again once you're on a team. So appreciate it, man. I really do. I know I wish you the best of luck. I know everyone that's watching and listening, if you're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or if you're on YouTube, wishes you the best of luck. Maybe you're a Buffalo Bill. It would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of
Maybe
cool.
I will.
Yeah.
I probably got to call Cole Bishop to let him know to put a reference in or something.
Yeah.
Really, man, because that's kind of how it works, in the game.
Yeah.
But I'll be blessed to go anywhere, man.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Guys, everyone go plug your social media. So
Yeah,
X,
man. So
Instagram, whatever you want to plug.
yeah, I appreciate that. So my Instagram, you guys, is LPJ3100. Um, you can't miss it, Lacarea Pleasant Johnson, and then my Twitter is Lacarea P3100. You guys can find it somewhere here. And once again, Peter, down below, yeah, I
Down
appreciate
below.
you helping
Yep,
me
down
out,
below.
and I look forward to talking, bro.
Of course, man. Of course. Yeah. Like he said, his social medias will be in the description as always, as our social medias, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Lacarea, appreciate it. Once again, really, really do, man. And I wish you the best of luck. And I know everyone that's watching and listening wishes you the best of luck as always. So that's going to do it for us, guys. This interview, you guys will be watching and listening very soon. Obviously, we're recording on a Tuesday. You guys will be seeing it on Wednesday morning. So you guys make sure you guys check it out.
Thanks.
Follow us on social media at X and on Instagram. Like I said, we got golf content, we got the Masters, we got NFL draft coming up. We got some, what else we got? More golf stuff, baseball, all that fun stuff. Make sure you stay here. Anything else you got to say before we get out of here, man?
No, man, just shout out to all my loved ones and my family. Shout out to everybody who's helped me be in this position. Shout out God, man. Rest in peace to my mom. Thanks, Peter, for having me, bro.
Of course, man. Guys, that's going to do it for us at Talking Sports Podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You guys will see me next, breaking down the Masters next week. Until then, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and everyone have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.